Salt in the wound, don't you think? All the way from London and all the way up to Aberdeen. You are bleeding us dry, you assholes, whilst you accumulate riches all the way across the Inverness and all the way down to Dumfries. The UK people are paying an extortion of taxes from here down to Lancaster, across to Porthmadog in Wales, and down to Aberystwyth, Hay, and across to Belfast. I must tell you, it's fucking bullshit. You're only able to help yourselves, the rich elite. Well, our country people suffer, and to know I'm off to Ballycastle, and across the rest of Northern Ireland. And yet, somehow, all the money makes its way back to London. That is where all the money goes, and that is how the money flows. As if by magic, as a drawn by a giant magnet, it has drawn from our citizens' pockets and make its way all back down to government. From our mouths, from our plates, and from our motherfucking arses. You are profiting from the blood, sweat and tears of the hard-working in order to fill your pockets. All across so-called Great Britain, people are literally starving, whilst you politicians whining and dining yourselves within your tax breaks, sitting in your second housing. How can this be fair for the taxes the rich pay are not proportionate to what you earn per week? One person citizen could not wish to earn in a motherfucking lifetime. No, we're not fucking jealous, we're paying through the nose. To even buy a loaf of bread as extortion even in Tesco's, and yet you can go to your Waitrose and your fancy hats and not give a care about the money. You do not have to scream and save in order to feed your family. For once, I would like to see you suffer and live as your commoners live. And I don't mean the middle class, working class, for they have no idea what suffering is. I mean your little chav that sits on the streets counting his money so he can afford a cheap bottle of wine to drink. And yes, you make them feel guilty because they have widescreen TVs. Sometimes they like to drink a bottle of alcohol. Sometimes they like to have a ciggy, and you make them feel guilty, for they have at least one joy in life. One little cheap joy that they can afford whilst you sit in fancy restaurants, whining and dining. So fuck you and your judgment. How dare you judge the common man? For we are paying your wages, no, through our taxes in order to receive services which we are not getting, as you are feeding your fat gobs of expensive bottles of wine and expensive cuts of meat. At the end,